शुरू करूं? Okay. Thank you everyone. Good evening everyone. So let's start our discussion. So today I'll give you some questions and you'll prepare your answer, and you'll be sharing, some of you will be sharing your answers. We'll provide you a chance to share the screen and we'll have discussion. Some feedback sharing will be there. I'll also share, and then if anybody from this group, you want to share your ideas also, you can share. Okay, so for that I'll give you two questions. I want to share my screen. Okay, let's do the first question. This is, okay, this question, let's try to write answer of this question, and you will have 18 minutes. You will have 18 minutes. Okay, within 18 minutes you have to finish your answer. Question is, describe at least 5 activities that can be used to develop reading skills of the lower secondary or secondary level students. If you are lower secondary, you write about lower secondary, and so if you are secondary, you write secondary level students. Okay, let's start. Time is 6:37. Then you have to complete your answer. 18 minutes and this 20 means, okay, 10, 10, 60, 20, and 58. Okay, 58. In 58, we'll start our talking. So now you start your writing. Please, this is the question. This is the question. First you write, then you will be sharing your answer. After that, then I will share my ideas about it, how to make it effective. Yes, please. I request you to stop your writing. Yes, please. Okay. Yes. We are here 91 participants here. Please, you can raise your hand. Who wants to share? Raise your hand. Akira, are you ready to share? Please, you unmute. Yes. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. And can you share your screen? And other participants, I request you all to be, attentive. Please pay attention also, and point out some, points which you feel praiseworthy to share here. Then finally we'll have discussion.
So may I read what I have written?
Yeah, Akira is going to share her screen.
Sir, can I read what I have written here?
Yeah, please. Can you share your screen? We can see.
Sir, now I'm not able to share this screen.
Is it? If this is so, you can read.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Good evening to all. Question is describe at least 5 activities that can be used to develop reading skills of the lower secondary level students. Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, we are listening to you.
Okay. Yes, teaching of reading is an important aspect of ELT. Teaching is often known as receptive skill, but it is never a passive one. Students are highly active and constructive while they are engaged in reading. The reading skills has many different soft skills, purposes, and types. The reading lessons are guided by many important principles and they are constituted of several varieties of teaching learning activities. A wide variety of classroom activities are suggested for teaching and learning of reading in English. Some of the common activities are jigsaw reading, predicting from words and pictures, comprehension exercises, language exercises, discussing the topic, debating, writing, and summarizing. First one, jigsaw reading. In this activity, different groups of students read in their own groups separate texts but about the same thing. Then they are asked to present the major ideas they're reading. At the end, they collaborate and make certain conclusions from their reading. Second one is predicting from words and pictures. This activity is usually used in the pre-reading stage. The students predict the main content of the text being based on the words of the title and story. Pictures may also help them to predict. Third, comprehension exercises. The comprehension exercises are usually used in the while listening stage. The exercises such as true false, completing table, filling the gaps, making lists, matching, etc. are the common comprehension-based activities. Then language exercises. These also appear in the while reading activities. Different games and activities related with vocabulary and grammar are also used as reading activities. Students read the text and do the exercises related with synonym, antonym, single words, etc. Discussing the topic. The students and teacher discuss the topic before they actually read the text. Teacher may facilitate the discussion raising different critical questions with why, where, how, etc. This leads towards an effective reading. Then last one is debating, writing, and summarizing. These activities often appear in the post-reading phase. That is, after reading the text completely, students may debate on the specific issues related with the reading text. They may also be asked to summarize the text. This enables them to fully understand the text. Finally, reading should be exploited not only as a classroom activity, but also as a real-life experience. Reading should be linked with their own real-life activities by the students. They need to expand the horizon of the world knowledge through their reading. So reading is beyond some kind of classroom exercises or challenge. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I appreciate. So if you could share your screen, then we could, see your layout also, how, you wrote or you prepare your answer. By the way, whatever the things you have shared with us, this is really, wonderful. We appreciate. And, from friends, if you have any kind of, some, good points you want to share with us, please, you could share. Otherwise, I'll say something about Kiraj in the presentation. Is anyone? This is really, I appreciate. So I think how to share. Wait. Sharing. Raj Jishi. Yes, Raj Jishi. Yes, please. You unmute yourself. Now you can unmute. Yes, Raj. Raj, please. Hello, Raj.
Excuse me, sir.
Please.
Can I share my answer?
Oh, you want to share your answer? Okay, okay. You share your answer, then we'll discuss about the feedback of Akira's answer and your answer at the same time. Okay, you start. Go on, please.
Okay. Reading is an active
No,
activity.
Raj, could you share your screen, because we can see your script also, your layout of writing also. Then we can say something about that also.
How to share? I don't know.
So there
Idea.
is green button at the bottom line. Then you just click there.
Okay, okay, sir.
Share screen is written there. Yeah, this is wonderful. And Raj, there is background noise also. If there is anyone, please can you request to them to make noise? Are you using mobile or laptop?
I'm
Raj,
using mobiles. Sir.
mobile.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
It doesn't share, sir.
okay, then you read this. Then, please. Raj Jishi, yes. Go on. Please do fast.
Yes. Okay, sir. Reading is an activity of getting ideas through printed materials, which using our eyes and brain. It is receptive skill, and the third skill according to the natural order. As asked question, here are designed any 5 activities for teaching reading skill, which are given below. Reading aloud. It is an effective activity to develop reading skills of the students. And in this activity, the teacher gives any reading materials to the students, and then the students read the text loudly, and in this way the students develop their reading skills. And second activity I have designed describe silent reading. The teacher gives some reading materials to the students in this activity, and then the students involved in reading silently, and especially this is done for reading comprehension of the students, and this also can develop reading skill of the students. And third, skimming. I have mentioned here skimming. It is an effective activity for teaching reading skills. It helps to find the main theme of the students by reading, which assists students reading power to enhance. And fourth is scanning. It is also an effective activity for teaching reading skills to develop the students. In this activity, the teacher gives any reading material to the students
Excuse me, I'm not listening to anyone. Is my problem or is there any problem?
We are listening, sir.
Oh, so I thought I faced problem. Okay, we got some ideas from Rajesh also. Then we'll share some ideas on his presentation or on his answer. And here, some of you have raised your hand. Just I want to request to Nirmala. Okay. Yes, Nirmala, you can unmute. Hello.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Please, yes, let's start. Can you share your screen because we can see it?
Sir, I'm trying, but it's not going on.
Okay. Slowly.
Can I start, sir?
Yeah, please go on.
Okay. Reading is the process of getting information from the
Aren't you
text.
sharing your screen?
It's not visible, sir.
No, it is not visible. Are you using your laptop or mobile?
No, sir. Mobile I'm using.
Oh, because of this,
Visible, sir?
still not.
Sorry, sir. Okay, sir. Reading is the process of getting information from the text, and hence it is the receptive skill. It is also the process of making students able to grasp the informations contained in the text. To develop the reading skills of the lower secondary level students, following activities can be conducted. Number one, paraphrasing procedure is provide students a short text to read, tell the learners to write it in different ways, but without losing the original meaning. Students read the text and paraphrase it. And activities to reordering the sentences. Procedure is divide the learners into different groups, provide a text to read, provide a jumble sentence from the text, tell the learners to reorder the sentence in correct order. The group that reorders the students and correctly wins. And number third, give a title to a passage. In these activities, teachers give a passage to read or reading materials in the hand of the students and ask them to read it and name the suitable title. After that, write one sentence in the whole passage to sum up the main idea. Here in this activity, the teachers ask the students to read the whole passage and summarize it also. And number 5, read the given passage and fill in the blanks. Here in these activities, the teachers ask the learners to read the passage clearly and fill in the blanks with the suitable words. And I have written some conclusion also, sir.
Okay, go on.
Yes, sir.
Go on.
Yes, the conclusion I have written is the flagship objective of teaching reading skills to the students in the classroom is to develop both the habit and culture of learning to read and reading to learn. To achieve the twin objective of teaching reading, students should be provided ample opportunity to read the variety of reading text. Thank you, sir.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much for your sharing. Now, let's stop your sharing. Then I will say something about your answer, okay?
Okay, sir.
First, Akira presented her answer, then Rajesh also, Nirmal also. 3, answers we got chance to listen, not to see. If we could see your answers, then we could say some idea or some points to beautify your answers. By the way, it's okay. Now just I want to share my screen. Then others, please you mute yourself. Then after my presentation, you can get chance to share if you want, because some other Kedar, please you mute yourself. Sarmila. First, you, everybody, please mute. Okay. Again, Nari Prasad. होस्टले यो भएन यो अलि भएन पक्नु यहाँ साथीले फ्याट अनम्युट गर्नुभयो के वेट यस नाउ my turn okay so I will show you something before this my scoring indicators or standards. I'll say something. Akira started with brief introduction about the reading skills. First point, she started with the reading skill, and she also briefly said about sub reading skills, and she talked about common reading activities, and she went in the description of reading activities like jigsaw reading, predicting words or predicting topic from the words, comprehension exercises, language exercises, discussion topic summarizing. These activities she mentioned, and she has also briefly written about the use part of these activities. And finally, she has written a couple of sentences in the conclusion part also. This is the framework. This is the framework Akira presented, and here just I want to यो सबै म्युट गरौ न Yes, are you listening to me? अनि यहाँ किन आज फ्याट अनम्युट भएको छ नि साथीहरुको पालो गरौ न. If you want to speak, then you get chance. Now here just I want to ask to Akira. Akira, are you listening to me? Akira, just I want to ask you. Yes, please, you unmute and speak. Are you listening to me? Akira, where are you? So you just I want to know from you that time limitation. Did you write this answer within 18 minutes, which I provided you? This one thing. And another thing is, this finds within the given time, did you write or you copied from somewhere? This is my concern. Otherwise, I appreciate your answer because introduction part is there, and you have also talked about the sub-reading skills also, and common activities you have talked, and you have briefly described about the 5-6 activities, and conclusion part also you have mentioned. That I appreciate. This is fine. And Nirmala, so somewhere you have to change your words also in your answer, like tell the students to read something. There is a little bit difficult to follow your answer. Such kind of you have to change. You have to. Nirmala also has started with the short introduction. I appreciate this also. And she has directly presented the activities like paraphrasing, reordering, and give a title to the passage, read and fill in the blanks, and this kind of activities she has mentioned, and conclusion part also she has mentioned. So from Nirmala's answer, what I understand is a few things Nirmala you have to consider. Like the way of presentation should be little bit should be improved from your side. Somewhere it is being difficult to follow your answer or your ideas because some kind of word arrangement or the patterns which we have used. Okay, so this is my suggestion. And yeah, please.
Sir, I have done 2 types of activities here. Okay? Actually, I want to know that कि कुन चाहिँ लेख्ने भनेर मैले यहाँ दुईटा किसिमले प्रेजेन्ट गरेको थिएँ सर. यो खास मैले हजुरलाई यो रिजल्ट पाउनलाई फिडब्याक पाउनलाई नै मैले दुईटा किसिमको लेखेको हो जस्तो
कहिले लेखेको हो तपाईले
हजुर सर
कहिले लेखेको कि मैले
हैन सर जस्ट आई हैव रिटन यु
युटिलाइज this 18 minutes
यस सर
oh okay this is what I want to know
जस्ट आई हैव रिटन सर यो चाहिँ मैले त्यही भएर अलिक थोरै पनि भयो प्याराफ्रेजिङ भनेर मैले यो डाइरेक्टली स्टार्ट गरेको छु सर हैन अनि यसमा चाहिँ मैले एउटा
this means you निर्मला is speaking yes
yes sir
okay
I have started directly sir जस्तो प्याराफ्रेजिङ लेखे अनि त्यसपछि provide a short text to read tell the learners to write it in different ways भनेर मैले एउटा चाहिँ यसरी लेखे एउटा एक्टिभिटीज I want to know which one is correct sir actually हैन एउटा चाहिँ मैले यो प्याराफ्रेजिङ भन्ने एक्टिभिटी चाहिँ मैले डाइरेक्टली स्टार्ट गरे अनि अर्को चाहिँ मैले त्यो जुन एउटा हजुरलाई सुनाएको थिएँ नि सर यो टाइटल दिएर गर्ने वाला त्यो चाहिँ मैले त्यसैलाई नै ब्रिफिङ गरे कुन चाहिँ बेस्ट हुन्छ भनेर मैले त्यो बुझ्नलाई मैले खास त्यसै डिफरेन्ट लेखेको सर
okay you again then repeat this paraphrasing and give a title to the passage
okay sir paraphrasing भनेर मैले यस्तो एक्टिभिटीज 1 अनि आफ्टर दैट प्याराफ्रेजिङ
okay
अनि प्रोसिजर भनेर मैले स्टार्ट गरेको छु अनि यसमा चाहिँ प्रोवाइड अ सर्ट टेक्स्ट टु रिड टेल द लर्नर्स टु राइट इट इन डिफरेंट वे बट विदाउट लुजिङ द ओरिजिनल मिनिङ स्टुडेन्ट रिड द टेक्स्ट एन्ड दे प्याराफ्राइज इट भनेर मैले एउटा चाहिँ यसरी फिनिश गरे एउटा एक्टिभिटी चाहिँ
okay
अनि अर्को चाहिँ गिभ अ टाइटल टु अ प्यासेज भनेर अनि अर्को चाहिँ
this next activity
yes sir in this activities teachers give a passage or reading materials in the hand of the students and ask them to read it and name the suitable title भनेर मैले यसलाई चाहिँ यसरी ब्रिफ गरे which one is more
no what is the difference between these two activities so give a title to the passage you have said the teacher gives in this way
yes sir मैले अनि उसमा चाहिँ मैले point by चाहिँ provide a short text to read and tell the learners to write यसरी गरे
I got your point
I deal that one that यो give a title of passage अनि यो डिल गरेर मैले अलि लामो लेखे सर हैन अनि यसमा प्याराफ्रेजिङमा चाहिँ मैले point वाइज गरेर पहिला यो गर्ने अनि स्टुडेन्टले यो गर्छ भनेर मैले त्यो तीन चारवटा पोइन्ट्समा लेखेको छु अनि अर्को चाहिँ मैले यो गिभ अ टाइटल टु प्यासेज राइट ओन सेन्टेन्स
I got yes Nirmala I got thank you
yes sir
thank you I got your point so here what I suggest you is both ways we can use but which one is more easy to understand or which one brings naturalness in your presentation is so if question is asked what is the question is this question is that describe at least 5 activities that can be used to develop reading skills of the lower secondary or secondary level students यति मात्र छ हैन so you can provide answer in imperative form also for example divide students into 2 groups provide them reading text or a passage and then ask them to discuss or to read the text in the group in this way you can also use the imperative form but here I divide the students into different groups then I provide some reading materials to each group this kind of presentation I think will be more natural in the presentation in your answer use I divide because it is asking to you then why don't you say I use this I divide I divide my students into different groups then I provide them the reading materials and ask them to read materials in the group like this you can start or you can present your answer this is my suggestion but if you write with the imperative also doesn't matter it sounds good but my preference is using I teach or I divide I ask students like this you use because it is asking to you how do you teach what are the activities this kind of this way you can follow thank you for your presentation now let's check this one now we'll score how much marks here and this is my scoring scheme now if the answer you wrote contains a brief introduction first point brief introduction a couple of sentences as the context creating you have mentioned there that's fine at least 5 to 6 reading activities are given and are briefly described to show how each activity can be used to develop different reading skills. So description also necessary. And the answer is original and extremely well organized. If you have, presented your activities, a different way, that is, very, new and original also, that sounds very, original, that's good, and presented in a well organized way. The answer shows the depth of understanding of the subject matter. Then writing is free from grammatical errors and punctuation problems. So if we see these things in your answer, then your answer will get 8.5 to 9.5 from my side. If I were there to check your answer, you would get what, 8.5 to 9.5 if your answer maintains these criteria, like the answer contains a brief introduction, okay, brief introduction, then at least 5 to 6 reading activities, because in the question there is asked describe at least 5 activities, because 5 activities means this is the minimum requirement. Then you can also mention the 6 activities, 7 activities also. At least 5 to 6 reading activities are given and are also briefly described to show how each activity can be used to develop different reading skills. Okay, one thing, the answer is original and extremely well organized. The answer shows the depth of understanding of subject matter. Writing is free from grammatical errors and punctuation errors. So first, Akira's, in Akira's answer, I could not find such remarkable, grammatical errors and punctuation problems. This is fine. And then in Raj Jishi's answer, somewhere I felt somewhere there is problem. Then also felt difficult to follow the ideas the answer wanted to communicate. Then in Nirmala's also somewhere not major problem, but somewhere in while listening to her answer, a little bit difficult I felt to follow. And then so you consider this, okay? So there should be the naturalness in the presentation, that's fine. And for the good category 6 to 8, 5 to 6 reading activities are directly listing the activities, not talking about the introduction, directly starting 5 to 6 reading activities along with short description. The answer is fairly original and well organized, that's fine. The answer shows clear understanding of the subject matter, that's fine. Writing is easy to follow and mostly free from grammatical errors and punctuation problems. So for this 6 to 8 marks, I give if I'm there to check your answer. So here introduction part is missing, context part is missing, and directly starting the points which is asked in the question. So satisfactory 5 to 6 marks. Directly 5 to 6 reading activities are given, but they are not properly described. They are not properly described. The answer is mostly well organized, but in some cases it is difficult to follow because of organizational, grammatical, and punctuation problems. So here some kind of flavor we get from Raj Jishi's answers and Nirmala's answer also. Somewhere we feel we means I personally I felt difficult to follow because this might be in the organizational part, little bit difficult to understand. And 5 to 6, that is, and below the 4 marks, right? Some activities are given, but the answer shows very limited understanding of the subject matter. Writing in most of the cases fails to communicate clearly because of the organizational problem, grammatical and punctuation problem. So you consider this. यस्तो इन्डिकेटरहरु चाहिँ हामीले ख्याल गर्नुपर्छ हैन, हाम्रो राइटिङलाई कसरी एक्सलेन्ट बनाउने भनेर गर्दाखेरि in comparison to these 3 answers, अकिराको अलिकति हाई लेभलको छ हैन, अनि त्यसपछि निर्मलाको आउँछ, त्यसपछि राज जीसीको आउँछ हैन। अझै यसलाई सुधार्दै जाऊ हैन, अझै तपाईहरुको राइटिङ नै हेर्न पाएको भए, त्यो लेआउट हेर्न पाएको भए, punctuation errorहरु कहीं देखिन्थ्यो कि हैन, त्यहाँ केही भन्न सकिन्थ्यो कि। So this kind of effort you have done. I really appreciate. So time limitation, of course, will be there. Just 18 minutes, you will get to write the answer of each question. So within 18 minutes, you have to complete. And you have to consider these things also. So brief introduction, you have to start your answer with brief introduction. Then you toss to the question like, if at least 5 to 6 activities are asked to mention, then we talk about those activities with brief description. How can we use? Then how can we use? Then how they develop different reading skills. And then your answer should be original. Creativity is highly appreciated, and the ideas should be well organized in the present in your answer. So answers should show the depth of understanding of the subject matter. Also from different perspectives you can talk or you can write your answer. So your writing should be free from grammatical errors. There should not be errors and punctuation problems also. You think about this also. यो कुराहरुलाई हेर्न पर्यो तपाईहरु अब आन्सर लेख्दाखेरि सेन्टेन्स फर्मेसन को कुराहरु हेर्न पर्यो हैन, and then punctuation को कुराहरु हेर्न पर्यो. Then you have to show your deep understanding of the content. How do you show your deep understanding of the subject matter? You have to think about it, because you can give a lot of examples. You can give some evidences also to justify or to prove your ideas, as well as answer should be original, creative. And then you can show your ingenuity also, creativity also. Then should be well organized. And यो कुराहरुलाई चाहिँ ख्याल गरौँ. यो कुराहरुलाई हामीले तलको त किन टार्गेट बनाउनु पर्यो र पुअर, satisfactory, good भन्दा पनि हाम्रो टार्गेट भनेको when we write answer, so to make our answer excellent, so this some criteria should be realized हैन. हामीले रियलाइज गर्नु पर्यो, त्यही अनुसारले आन्सर लेख्नु पर्यो हैन. So if introduction part is not written, directly started the activities. So a little bit decontextualized the examiner may feel decontextualization, dry situation, decontextualized situation भयो भने अलिकति एक्जामिनरलाई अलिकति भनौं न त्यो नेचुरलनेस आउँदैन कि हैन. So think about this also. Then let's start with the introduction part हैन. And here number satisfactory part, and then difficult to follow the difficult to understand, difficult to follow because of the organizational problem, grammatical problems, punctuation problems. यस्तो धेरैकोमा हुन्छ हैन. So we have to consider these ideas should be presented in a logical sequence. Grammatical, of course, we check sentence formation part also. Using preposition, articles, and then other adverbs, adjectives, we check that one also. Punctuation, you understand. Mechanics, you check like spelling, then punctuations, then capitalization. These things are are also crucial, because if we don't maintain these things like mechanics in our writing, they contribute to deteriorate our quality of our answer. त्यही भएर यस्तो कुराहरुलाई पनि ख्याल गरौँ र यसरी लेखौँ. Do you want to share anybody want to share here? Do you want to share? Yes, if you write more than 5, it's fine. At least 5 is the basic requirement. Within the time boundary, if you can write 6 activities, that's fine. Will be appreciated. It doesn't matter. But 5 is what minimum. You cannot write 4. You cannot write 4. If you write 4, then number will be score will be reduced. So minimum is 5. If it is indicated at least 5, then you have to write. You have to talk about the 5 activities. So you can also talk about the 6 activities, but you think about the time limitation also. Within 18 minutes, you have to complete your answer. Okay. Now you are saying that my model answer. So I have not written my model answer, so we can write here. हामीले यही लेख्न सक्छौं. यो पछि लेखौँला म अर्को एउटा तपाईहरुलाई क्वेशन दिन्छु अनि त्यसपछि लेखौँला नि त आन्सर हामीले यहाँ हो न मैले के दिएको थिएँ सेकेन्ड क्वेशन इज ओके लेट्स राइट यसलाई पनि 18 मिनेटमा केही नहेर्नुस् है जे आउँछ जति आउँछ त्यति लेख्नुस् देन देयर विल बी शेयरिङ what are the difficulties of what are the difficulties of teaching writing skills? Describe with examples how do you teach? Essay भनौँ how do you teach essay writing to your lower secondary भन्नुस् secondary level students? How do you teach? Okay, this is 5 plus 5 is equal to 10. Now go on. अब तपाईको time 7:36 and when you get 18 minutes 36 18 4 5 54 मा तपाईले यो कम्प्लिट गर्नुपर्छ 7:54. Okay, now let's start. नमस्कार। यो 54 मा हामी फेरि छलफल गर्छौं। किन टाइम माविको कति बजे सुरु हुन्छ? अर्को माविको चल्छ हैन? ओके then we consider this. ओके ल Okay, please now stop your writing. Let's have sharing. So because from 8 o'clock, secondary, candidates, they start using this same Zoom ID. So we have to conclude. If you want to share, anyone, please you share. Otherwise, I'll share some idea. Then we close today. Do you want to share? Okay, Pavitra, please, Pavitra, you want to share? Okay, I'll give you the permission. Pavitra, where is Pavitra? Raise your hand, Pavitra. Please raise your hand. Yes. Okay, you start.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, good afternoon. Please start. We don't have much time.
Okay, sir. you had given us questions that what are the difficulties of writing skills? Describe with example, how do you teach essay writing to your lower secondary level students? I'm preparing secondary level also, sir. So I'm going to start my answer. First of all, introduction of writing skills. Development of writing skill is important for a foreign language learner. Writing is a powerful medium of expressing our ideas, thoughts.
Pavitra, could you share your screen if possible? We could see your answer.
I have written, sir. I think first of all I'll say I'm also using.
Okay, go on then. Go on.
Writing is a powerful medium of expressing our ideas, thoughts, feelings, emotions, etc. in written form. Writing preserves the culture. Some people think that writing is the last language skill and in schools it is not given so importance because they focus on speaking skills and communicative approach. There are many difficulties of writing skills as a foreign language learner. Some of them are given below. Most of the Nepalese students lack the knowledge of components of writing like cohesion, coherence, and mechanics of writing like punctuation marks, spellings, capitals, abbreviations, full forms, etc. Nepalese students make many grammatical and syntactic mistakes while writing. The students should use the process approach of writing and its stages like planning, drafting, revising, editing, etc. But they lack this type of knowledge and write in an unorganized way. And Nepalese students as a second language, they don't know the target or authentic language and their writing is very poor. And the teacher uses GT or grammar translation methods. So the students are also poor in writing. Now, I want to, essay is the brief form of writing. It is also known as free writing. The activities which I use to teach essay writing to lower secondary students are as follows. First of all, I'll give the students the topic of the essay. Then I'll tell them to discuss about the topic. I'll also provide some outlines about the topic of the essay to start writing. After that, I'll give them some combined sentences and tell them to join these sentences. Then I will tell them to discuss about the topic which I had given them to write. This much, sir, I hadn't completed.
Thank you. Okay. So thank you so much, Pavitra. May I request you to mute yourself? Then I will say something. Introduction part we have mentioned, and the classroom procedure of teaching writing, teaching essay writing also we have mentioned. That's fine. I appreciate. So your problems in your answer, is, like, ideas are overlapping, somewhere. So this ideas are repeated. So think about it, because ideas should not be repeated. One thing. Then somewhere I found, some connectives are repeated, like and some 2-3 times you have repeated. So according to your reading, so if we could see your answer, then we decide whether these things are repeated or not. Another thing, and one thing I want to ask: these procedures, have you written in bullet form or in paragraph form? Okay. So my request is to write in the bullet form these classroom procedures. So thank you for your presentation. And one more, Akira, she wants to share. We have 4-5 minutes remaining. So where is Akira? Have you raised your hand? Not yet. Do you want to share? Okay, fast. Do fast. Can you share your screen?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Please share your screen.
only host can share भनेको छ, सो एकचोटि इनेबल गर्नुपर्छ होला सर सेयरिङलाई.
Okay.
Okay, sir, wait.
गर्नुमा छैन ल.
सर मैले सेलेक्ट गर्नुपर्ने जति सबै शेयर गर्ने जति सबै सेलेक्ट गर्ने हो कि एउटा एउटा गरेर गर्ने हो? आई गेट कन्फ्युज.
तपाई केमा छ? ल्यापटपमा हो कि मोबाइलमा?
मोबाइलबाट हो सर हुन चाहिँ.
टेक्स्ट छ होला नि त, त्यो टेक्स्ट मात्र डिस्प्ले गर्नु न.
Sir, is it visible?
Not yet. Oh. Okay. Akira, what is the problem?
Sir, I'm trying, but यहाँनिर कुनै पनि अप्सनै देखाइराखेको छैन. फोटो सेलेक्ट भयो, बट भिजिबलको लागि कुनै अप्सन देखाएन. ल्यापटपबाट त हुन्थ्यो, यता फोनबाट मलाई नआएको.
Okay, then go reading.
I couldn't write whole thing because I was in kitchen. So जति लेखेको छु त्यसलाई
Okay,
चाहिँ
try. Yes. Go on.
Writing involves putting down ideas into the paper through scripts and spelling. Writing is used to express meaning. Though both speaking and writing are productive skills, they differ significantly. Writing is usually better organized than normal speech. Then paragraph change. Teaching writing involves a number of issues. Some of these issues are related with learners and writing genres, while others are related with the writing process itself. In my point of view, major issues that teachers need to consider about the writing lessons are the writing genre, the writing process, and the writing habit. First one, the writing genre. Genre refers to the type of writing, example, advertisement, report, essay, newspaper, article, story, etc. Each genre is distinguished from the other in terms of language style, format, and organization. So developing students' ability in writing different genre is an issue for a teacher. Effective teachers successfully manage this issue by planning writing activities according to the level, interest, ability, and need of students. Second, the writing process. According to this view, writing involves different processes such as planning, drafting, revising, editing, and making final writing. Then third one, the writing habit. The students often find writing much boring and difficult. In this specific condition, teachers need to focus on how they can build the writing habits of students. Teacher can encourage students for real-life purposes such as
Akira, may I stop you?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Are you reading these as difficulties of teaching writing, or what is this?
Yes, sir. Difficulties of teaching writing.
Okay, go on.
Real-life purposes such as newspaper articles, wall magazines, birthday greeting emails, and so on. I have written. That's it, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your sharing. We appreciate. Your friends have also written in the chat box. We appreciate. Thank you. So finally, I will say something about this. Now let's share this screen. So this is just sample, because just I have arranged my previous notes in this answer form. This is sample. Now just introduction part, we can write like focusing on teaching and learning process in the classroom. Writing is one of the language skills. It is related to language output. This means when we write, we put our ideas, thoughts, feelings onto the paper, which is visible. Writing is an activity of generating tentative and rough ideas and translating them into readable text. It is idea developing language activity. Similarly, we can also say that writing is a long journey from ideas generating to translating them into readable. This is what just context creating part, introduction part, and now let's go to the difficulty part. Content knowledge and language system knowledge is basic requirement in teaching writing skills. Learners have to also employ their creative and critical mind to think and generate new and innovative ideas to write. To be more specific, the possible difficulties of teaching writing can be presented in the following way. Like these things I presented in my earlier discussion. Writing is a long journey from creating new ideas to translating them into readable text. During these processes, students as writers have to employ different skills like making notes, summarizing, planning, drafting, etc. Of course, engaging in such idea generating and putting them into logical sequence is difficult one. This one point, because this is what idea generation or development activity. Teaching writing skills require lower order thinking skills such as mechanics, like punctuation, spellings, capitalization, agreement patterns, to higher order thinking skills such as generating ideas and arranging them into logical order to maintain coherence and cohesion. Therefore, maintaining both types of skills is difficult. Another part. To develop well-organized piece of writing, students as writers have to execute knowledge of different areas such as content knowledge. They should have context knowledge as well, language system knowledge, of course, knowledge of process writing, like I already said, this planning, drafting, revising, editing, and producing final draft. So these are some few difficulties we mentioned here. Then I follow the following procedures to teach the essay to my students, like divide the board into 3 sections, or I divide the board into 3 sections. I write the topic on the top in the right hand side. I conduct brainstorming activity to generate rough ideas on the given topic. I write down students' ideas in the first column, first section of the board. I discuss how the ideas presented can be organized in logical sequence. After discussion, write the suggested ideas, or I write the suggested idea in the second section of the board. I ask to my students to write a paragraph by expanding the ideas mentioned in the second section. I check every student's paragraph writing, as I select the best one and write it in the third section of the board. I check the mechanics and agreement rules of writing. Finally, I finalize and ask students to write it in their note copy. So this kind of procedures to write essay we can follow. So this is just sample. Tomorrow I will fine tune this answer and send you in PDF form. So thank you so much for your participation and your sharing also. I think secondary level participants, they will start their session, their time. So anything if you have to ask, then please let's have short discussion, then we conclude. Yes, this is feedback class today, just we are sharing. Yes, if you have any, please let's have short discussion, otherwise we conclude, and then this final version of these 2 questions answer I will send you tomorrow. Okay, if this is if there is no any questions, please questions where 2 questions we discussed. Yeah, we were discussing these 2 questions, like describe at least 5 activities that can be used to develop reading skills of the students, lower secondary or second level students. Then write what are the difficulties of teaching writing skills. Describe with examples how do you teach essay writing to your lower secondary or secondary level students. These were the questions. And some, scoring scheme I have prepared like this. So while writing your answer, you can consider these guidelines. Okay, if this is so, let's conclude today, and tomorrow we we continue with this. Yes, okay, Sangeetan. ल सेकेन्डरी सुरु गरौँ न त, रमेश सर आउनु भएको छ होला। So one of you has written here, can we write in bullet form? So bullet form, I have shown you short introduction, then you toss to the question, and as far as possible, write in a bullet form, concluding, concluding sentences also, if possible, you mention, then this will be fine. Okay, thank you.